All right, we're live with you July 3rd here, right before 4th of July. It's always a good time to check in on baseball here, where we're at with the standings and all that. We'll get into some American League trades we want to see happen along the way. Kershaw hits 3,000 last night, fourth lefty to ever do it. We'll get into that a little bit as well. We'll hit on the standings. Got the All-Star games revealed as well. Seventh inning stretch with Logan Stone. Darren Breyer, here we go. So a lot to get into. This is, to me, checkpoint number 2 of the season. July 4th, kind of, I said, that Memorial Day. Now we get to July 4th. So we go. We're kind of like at the halfway show here, kind of get a good spot where teams are at. We'll get into biggest surprises as well. I know that me and you have been surprised by a few teams that I want to get into that. To be fair, I don't think you've officially jumped on the bandwagon yet. So I want to get into that, your thoughts on some of those teams I have as well. But maybe we can kind of combine it a little bit with like trades we'd like to see American teams make. I mean, like, to me, one of the biggest surprises has been the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, I had confidence in them, but I didn't. But they've really surprised me. They steadied the ship early. They're beating the Yankees again tonight. They have a chance to take the lead in the American League East, and the Rays are right there as well. They've been playing good baseball, and they're a half game behind the Blue Jays and the Yankees.
They're all tied at 48 wins or 38 wins, right?
Yeah, yep. And what do we have right now? I think I got the score right now with the Yankees. They're down 6-3 as they go to the top of the 7th in Toronto. I mean, what do you kind of make? They're obviously a big surprise. You feel like there's any guys they could also add? What do you make of the Blue Jays here a little bit?
I don't know. And I know that sounds so bad. I just don't know about the Blue Jays. And I was telling you earlier, because they had tied last night with the Yankees, and I just said I don't know what it is I don't like about them. They just give me a weird feeling of like, I just don't. Yeah, it's just so weird. I just don't. I can't buy them, and I don't know why. So for as far as like, I mean, but they're winning. So, but as far as trades that they could do or they need right now, they need. Let me look at who they need. They need. They don't need much, but they do need some outfielding help, and they could use a starting pitcher. Aside from Barrios, who's having a fantastic year, they are kind of. Chris Bassett has not been as advertised, and Kevin Gausman is kind of getting older. Max Scherzer, he's kind of. I mean, he's there, but he's injured a lot, so he's not Max Scherzer of old. So they could use a starting pitcher. I don't know who they could get. Potentially, I mean, there's some guys that they. I mean. Oh, man, I don't know who they should get.
I'd like to see them shore up a little bit of the bullpen too. I know, I know that they've been better on that end of it, but I would still like to see them shore that up a little bit. They'll get Bichette back. Guerrero's been solid for him all year along the way, and I just feel like they're. I don't know, the one thing that I've always been impressed with the Blue Jays is how resilient they've been this year. Yeah. I feel like they've been one of the more like resilient teams. Their offense is kind of middle of the pack in terms of home runs and all that stuff. But they've been a clutch team along the way. I mean, that's the one thing about them. They've been really clutch that they've been getting, and the pitching's been really good. I mean, they're 5th overall in strikeouts this year. Along the way as well. The starters have been a lot better than I thought that they would be, but they still haven't been that great. I feel like they've had a combination of timely hitting, which I also kind of, as we get to the Astros, I feel like that's been kind of one of their benefits as well. But I think the confidence in signing Guerrero. I think that at this point last year, let's say Guerrero was a free agent going into next year, I wouldn't feel that good about the Blue Jays. No. But I feel like there is a steadiness now that they know it's like less drama, right? Yeah. So I do like that part about them as well. And they're playing clutch baseball.
Looking at my sheet here, I do kind of like a trade that would be Martin Perez going to the Blue Jays. He's not doing terrific with the White Sox, but you could attribute that to just being on a crappy team.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Andrew Benintendi, I think he needs to get traded and put on a good team. And someone whose name is sticking out in my head is Zach Eflin with the Orioles. I know it's kind of a taboo to do a interleague or interdivision trade, but I don't think the Orioles and Blue Jays are really going to be like, oh man, we can't do it with Zach Eflin. I think Zach Eflin would be really good. Another one would be the Royals. Let's see, Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha.
That's who I was thinking. Lugo's who I was thinking would be.
Yeah,
that was.
And they could use Jonathan India too if they wanted.
Yeah, the Royals would be interesting. They should be sellers at this point, right?
Yeah, they're sellers in my opinion, and they have a lot of good guys. I think that a lot of people are going to be calling about Chris Bubic. Is it Bubic or Bubic?
I prefer Bubic just for that.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Let's see. They have.
Is it Glasnow? No, I'm just kidding. We have. No, it's Bubic. We got. I think the Royals will have some pieces that they'll be trading along the way here.
They have some good guys. They have Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Mark Canha, and Jonathan India, who is a free agent next year. But I think he would be a good trade piece for now. I mean, everyone needs a utility player. So,
what do you think about the Guardians? There's been a lot of rumors heating up about them trading Emmanuel Clase, one of the best relief pitchers over the last 5 years. Do you think that's serious?
I think they would. It's in their track record that they've done that, and I mean, they could definitely get some guys because honestly, the only name I have who they could sell is Lane Thomas, and he's not going to get you anything. Emmanuel Clase, he's had a down year this year, but name recognition, I mean, he's going to get you a big payday. And, if you don't sell him this year at the deadline and then he continues to go downhill, his value is only going to go down at the offseason. And then if you try to trade him at next year's deadline, I mean, he could be worthless. And so I think with the way that the relief pitching market is, I mean, they're going to overpay for him. And that's why I think the Cardinals should get rid of Ryan Helsley, is because they're going to ask so much for them and they could get so much for them. So
I keep hearing the Phillies would be the favorite for Clase.
They need him. They need relief pitching every year, it seems like. And that's always so funny to me. Like for 5 years now.
Yeah, I mean, that would make the most sense. I would think maybe him landing there would be a big part of, I don't know, be a big pickup for any team there with that. Like you said, the Royals with Lugo along the way as well. I kind of want to get your thoughts on the team that's in your state, the Rangers. They're kind of been a weird team this year for me. DeGrom's been awesome for them lately. Evaldi has been good for them. They have Molly has been good as well. Josh Jung has completely regressed as a third baseman for them this year. Seager's obvious injuries itself, I don't necessarily see him trading him. Simeon's had a down year. I feel like they're in a weird spot. Like, would they trade Garcia? Would they trade it? I mean, I don't think they would trade DeGrom.
Well, I think that they should trade Garcia just because I don't like Garcia. So,
but they're not going to get a lot for him right now.
No, they wouldn't. But I think he's just one of those guys that you need to get rid of when you can.
Would they trade Seager? Would they go? They fold? So they're still going for the wild card at this point.
No, I think they still. I have them as buyers and sellers. I think last week I called them the yes category. Are they buyers and sellers? Yes. I think they are going to buy some, and I think they're going to sell some. I think they could get rid of Jock Peterson, Patrick Corbin, and Tyler Mahle.
Yep.
But I think they need a first baseman.
And the third baseman.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of those things because, like, Marcus Semien hasn't hit. Josh Young hasn't hit, and no
Nope.
one's really hitting in their offense, which is so weird because their offense is it's built on paper. It's so good. And they just have not connected. And with what Kevin Pillar said, it kind of makes sense with the team's chemistry. So maybe that's a problem, but I still believe in them. I think Bruce Bochy is a really good manager, and he can definitely get players to bend to his will. We've seen that. I mean, the 2012, 2014 Giants, they were dead in the water. It seemed like at the beginning of the or in the middle of the season, and then they got 1-2 players, and then all of a sudden they win the World Series, and in sad fashion.
I keep hearing Josh Naylor to the Rangers.
That's who I had. Who I had. I wanted Josh Naylor. That's actually who I had written down was Josh Naylor. He would be really good to go to the Rangers, and maybe they can get a Zach Gallen or a Merrill Kelly along with that.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot. They have some moves that they could make to stay. I mean, they're 2.5 out in the wild card, so they're 1 game under 500. So they're not gonna be dead yet. They're still gonna give this a little run here over the net until the deadline. Now let's say they fall 6 games out. I think they're moving on at that point. I think they're trading if they fall back there with it. What do you make of the Orioles? They have some guys too. I feel like O'Hearn.
Oh, they're dead. And I think they have. Let's see, who do they have?
I mean, O'Hearn's the big one. All-star DH, right? All-star DH.
Yeah. Ryan O'Hearn, Cedric Mullins, Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton. I mean, you can get some stuff. Yeah, you can get some of these guys. You can get whatever for these guys. Pitching is going to be a hot commodity. Outfielders are actually turning into a hot commodity too. So you have 2 of those guys who could be useful to any team. Cedric Mullins especially, and Zach Eflin, who's solid. So. Charlie Morton, you're gonna have to get rid of him I mean, he's not gonna get you much, but I mean, just getting rid of him would be good. So
package deal maybe with him. Yeah, O'Hearn and Mullins. Let's talk about those 2 guys because those 2 guys could actually be impactful, right?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I know the Giants have been kind of the favored rumor for O'Hearn. Mullins, I think you mentioned maybe Philadelphia. At a point with that as well, or was it Atlanta? Maybe that's who you mentioned with that.
I think I said Phillies in passing, but then I fell in love with the idea of him going to the Brewers, and I thought, oh, that would be so cool. He's such a Brewers player. He's speedy. He hits, and he's not gonna do gangbusters. He's not gonna hit 1,000 home runs a season, but he's a solid player. But yeah.
Do you think I think the Orioles would trade him to an American League team? Him or O'Hearn?
I think they'd sell him to whoever wants it.
Because I mean, we talked about the Astros a little bit this morning when we were texting, and like we weren't neither of us were blown away by the consistent starting lineup, but it has got the job done this year so far. They are in first place, obvious as well. Yeah, but it does seem like they could use an arm and they could use a bat. And O'Hearn, we'll see what happens with Alvarez. We'll talk about him a little bit later in the show. They got some good news with him.
So did they?
Yeah, it didn't sound like it wasn't as bad as they were thinking it was going to be. But he's been out 2 months. And you get a lefty with a big bat, and O'Hearn would fill that void for them. Maybe they do get a Charlie Morton back in a trade like that. But those would be the guys I would think at that time.
Yeah, and so Ryan O'Hearn, they need a first baseman. Because Walker is not doing well. They need a second baseman. They need just a bat, honestly, somewhere in the order. Second baseman and an outfielder possibly. And then they need that starting pitcher. I have thrown that trade of trading Sonny Gray and Nolan Gorman to the Astros. It's kind of been.
Why do you not think the Cardinals would trade Sonny Gray though?
I I think Sonny Gray is just gonna. I think first of all he's got a no trade clause, and I think he could still fit in with the team next year.
Yeah.
And so I just don't. And I mean, they have him next year, and then a potential year after that for a fourth year. So I think it would be. I
I
think it
mean,
would
they
be
could get a
cool.
lot for him
They
because they could
could.
buy him and like Helsley in 2 deals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and so I, I, it's kind of weird for me because it's like the right thing would be for them to just not sell Sonny Gray, but I also think the smart thing would be to sell Sonny Gray. So it's kind of weird for me. So
Man, there'd be
I,
so many American League teams. Like the Astros would be, like you
yeah,
said, they would. Man, a chance to get him
yeah,
and there they enter the playoffs. I
yeah.
mean, to have 3 guys, obviously with Blanco out. I mean, that would change some things for sure. What else do you kind of see American League wise?
Let's see. I have the Yankees. I mean, they've been on a spiral. They need a third baseman, shortstop, starting pitcher.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of liked who was it? Bu- 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 uh, so I had them getting Ozzy Albies from the Braves. I think he could go there. They need a third baseman. He can move over to third baseman or third base or have Jazz. I know weren't too hot on having Jazz play third, but um, I think he would work.
yeah,
And then the starting pitcher. I mean, take your pick. Honestly, it's kind of weird. I refrained from picking relief pitchers because it was just going to be so much.
yeah,
Uh, but and I think starting pitchers are kind of getting in that way too. But let's see, New York. I think that would be my thing. I think their ideal player is Eugenio Suarez. But I actually think Eugenio Suarez could go to the Astros.
hmm
Um, but I don't know if the Astros have enough depth that the D-backs would want.
yeah,
Um, the Mariners, they just need any bat. And I think they could trade a starter, honestly. Luis Castillo. They could
yeah,
trade one of their starters for a nice bat. Uh, Maybe not a rental, but someone who's got a couple years left.
yeah.
Um, I I wouldn't know who that. And maybe they could get a starter back, with Merrill Kelly or, um, not someone who's gonna, that you don't have to trade so much for, but you know, in a
No,
sense,
I gotcha.
in a weird sense. Let's see.
The Red Sox, they got what are they? I mean, they've had a weird year.
Yeah, so I have them as buyers and sellers and I think they should sell Aroldis Chapman, Liam Hendricks, and Jaron Duran. I think um, in a very Red Sox move because I was thinking it's so dumb, but it makes so much sense. I think they would trade for Alec Bohm, um, turn him into a first baseman, have him fill in as their third baseman. I think
Yeah,
he's doing so well with the Phillies right now that his value has gone up a little bit. So I think teams would want him. I don't know how badly they would want him, but yeah, I
yeah.
think out. And I kind of like Jaron Durant going to the Phillies. I don't think now. I'm not saying straight up Alec Bohm for Jaron Duran. I
No,
think the Phillies would have to send 2 top 10 prospects for that package, but and maybe some cash to because I don't know how much Alec Bohm is owed. But yeah, that would be my ideal trade right there.
I'd be curious if they would unload Walker Bueller. He's had kind of a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
It's up to
I
you.
think I think they would want to. I think that's ideal, but I don't know if any team would want him.
Man,
Um,
I got to think of like why wouldn't the Astros take a chance on him for
I
nothing?
maybe the Rangers. The
Yeah,
Rangers turned Patrick Corbin into the greatest player ever. So
yeah. If anybody could do that, right?
yeah, right.
You got that, and then the last, like I said, he's been out there. He's an A. He's been kind of a little bit more talking about the field in Sacramento. It'd be interesting if the A's unloaded Severino. Would any team be interested in him? We'll see if he. I mean, he got definitely overpaid.
Could they
join.
sell Severino though? Because they only got him to appease the other owners.
I keep hearing he's in trade discussions. So
Oh, is he?
my
Okay.
guess is they can get get rid of him. Yeah, so it'll be interesting what they do. I also kind of a team I'm kind of just keeping an eye on. They're under the radar because they've been kind of they're not under the radar, but they've been exceeding expectations. But I'm still waiting for the drop. Is Detroit? So I'm curious if they make any. I'm curious how far they go in on a season like this because do they make a move for a pitcher that we're not expecting? Are they making a move for O'Hearn or I don't know, like what do they do? Like it'd be interesting to see what the Tigers do as the best team in the American League.
Yeah, I mean
Do you really
they need
believe
a
in
shortstop and a catcher. Their offense has done really well. I just don't know. Yeah, there's not really. I mean, everyone's talking about Eugenio Suarez going back, or going, going back because he started his career off with the Tigers.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know because a lot of teams are going to be calling about Eugenio Suarez. So I don't know if they'll get him. It's kind of funny to me. Also, a lot of teams are needing catchers,
Yeah.
and there's not a. I mean, let's see.
Shea Langoniers. Shea.
Yeah.
Shea Langoniers. He just came off the IL. Maybe,
Yeah,
the A's could trade him. They would get a lot for him right now compared to other year.
Yeah, and the Rockies have what's his name? Not Ian Hamilton. That catcher whose name escapes me at the moment, but he's in pre-arbitration, so
And the
so
Rockies,
I think they could get him.
are always looking to trade everybody, right? As they're looking to trade.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the Ryans everywhere too. Doyle's been pathetic for him. Who is the catcher you're talking about? They have Hunter Goodman and Austin.
Hunter Goodman. That's it. He's been doing awesome.
Yeah, he's had a good year. For the Rockies, who have not had a good year, as we discussed there at it. So, any other trades that you see out there? I mean, Tyler brings up. We talked about this. The Blue Jays do need a starting pitcher. They need a lot. They need a little bit. They don't need a lot. They can make them push, but I think for them to get over the hump, they're going to have to make a couple power moves. I just like their mentality of where we're at with the Blue Jays in some regards. I just like where they're at with things like, and that's to me why they're one of the biggest surprises to me also in Major League Baseball, right? Like, would you say they are, or would you say it's a little not fair with them?
I don't know if they're the biggest surprise. I think the Tigers are the biggest surprise, just where they were last year and then how they turned it around, won the wild card, and then they became the best team in American League. I think the Astros have been a big surprise. The Braves have been a really big surprise. And so I would say those are the kind of the teams that I would be surprised with, just because the Rays, no one really thought they were going to do anything, and they just kind of played like the 2020 Rays. And so, the Tigers, I think, hold the biggest spot right there.
And the Rays do deserve a little love here. I mean, we don't. I mean, they're playing in a minor league park. We're not expecting much from them going into the year. Lowe's really picked it up along the way as well. Their offense to me has been the most surprising. I mean, Logan, outside the Yankees, they scored 416 runs, only giving up 347. So they've kind of been right there on the peak, back to back with they're just good all around hitting, good all around pitching, timely hitting along the way. And Dave Diaz has been great for them. Lately, Caminero has been awesome for them as well. He has 21 home runs for them as well. And Danny Jansen's been a nice, solid pickup for them as the catcher for them in the offseason when I wasn't looking at that as too big of a deal. I would have had the Cardinals. Yep, he's been really good for them too. I would have had the Cardinals on this list too, but then they don't score a run.
Yeah,
the Pirates. My gosh.
Yeah,
I mean, the Mets I think lost them by 10 points every game, and then the Pirates come back and not just sweep the Cardinals, but don't even give up a run.
26 runs to their 4, and
incredible.
So
Cardinals, it'd still be a surprise for me at this point. It'd still be a little bit of a surprise, but I mean, I don't know. You're a little bit more invested with them, I know, but they've been a surprise as well. And then I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on the Mets real quick. So
Okay.
you sound like you're out on them now.
I've never bought into them because they were, I don't know, they just had, I don't know, they seem like they always start off hot and then they kind of dwindle, and I just never saw any depth with them. And so and yeah, I get it. They do well, and so it's always easy to bet on them, but whenever someone gets injured, that can totally dismantle the whole organization. And they lose Griffin Canning, they've lost Senga, they've lost a couple of their starters. And I just what is it? Not Tyler Maley, Tyler McGill. They've lost those guys, and it's just not even working anymore. And so
You said they
they
had
move
too many holes to fill, right? On our
they
chat,
do, they do. And and they're kind of in the same spot for me as the Diamondbacks, just in the sense of not positionally, just where they are wins losses wise, but just there's so many holes that you look at all the trade deadline needs, and you're just thinking, I could trade all my farm system for these rentals and possibly get far enough into the playoffs, or I could go into the free agency and take my $6.8 billion owner and buy some free agents, not some mediocre players like Brandon frickin' Nemo, but some actual players who are good and would be worth 25 million a year,
yeah.
and just go. And I think I would be a lot happier as an owner or a general manager if I traded my farm, my because they have the 13th ranked farm system, if I remember correctly. I think I would be more comfortable spending trading away my farm system on players I can keep when I'm a lot closer to a goal, than if I have a couple of holes that need to be filled. And yeah, I don't see the Mets just getting
You're,
anywhere.
you're pretty harsh on them. You're pretty harsh on them, I thought, along the way. Like I said, I still think the Brewers could steal the Central. I still have
Yeah.
that. It's kind of my surprise there. And then I got to give even your Angels a little credit right now. They lose Washington for the year. Hopefully, obviously, a pretty serious situation there, but they're 43-43, and they're still right there
Yeah.
in the American League West. Did not have that there. They've surprised me quite a bit in that regard. So yeah,
It's kind of funny. Everybody who's not even an Angels fan is just saying, just go out and go all in, go all in on a player and just go. And they need a bat. I mean, that's what they truthfully need. They may not win the World Series, but if they could get to the playoffs
that'd
and
be
give
beautiful.
Mike Trout just a win in the playoffs, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just get the guy in the playoffs. I mean, it'd be a big. I mean, if I was the Angels, you got to do something. You got
Yeah.
a chance. You got a chance. Go for it right now. You got a chance. So
Yeah.
we'll see where they're at. The next big one is obviously when we get to the trade deadline. It's kind of the next standings check around in the league. I know it's a little shorter time, but that's kind of how I kind of look at it. Or you could go even the middle of August, but to me, that July 31st day is the next big one on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then the other team, I just wanted to get to standings wise. I don't know if Tyler's probably not with us anymore, but I mean the Giants have pretty fallen off. We gave them some love earlier in the season on seventh inning. They make the trade for Devers, and not really been his fault. They just can't hit. Tyler's
Yeah.
right. They just cannot hit. They give Bob Melvin the extension, the 1-year
Yeah.
extension. Posey says it's more on him. He obviously didn't do a good enough job putting the roster together.
Yeah.
I would say that's not completely on it, but Damas has been not that great. They signed him. But you like the part of accountability, but the Giants have been they've been disappointing this last 2 weeks. I mean, they got swept by the Marlins. Not good baseball.
Yeah, they couldn't even. what was it? They couldn't score one run, I don't think. No, wait, that wasn't them. That was something else. But
No, they've
yeah,
been really bad.
yeah.
I mean, they've
And
been super bad.
Devers hasn't done well, which I kind of forgive a little bit. I think Devers just needs to be more accumulated to. I mean, it is a different climate. I mean, I went to a game there in July, and in the Oracle, and it was like 40 degrees. So I think I could forgive Devers for not being just ready for that atmosphere just yet. It is a completely different atmosphere
Yeah, than
than
Boston,
Boston.
no doubt.
And so I would say give him a couple weeks, let him get used to the team, used to everybody else, and he'll start going off. But yeah, and that's kind of why I never. I mean, I bought into them a little bit more than I did other teams, but yeah, they really need some hitters, and so I mean, going back to what I said last year, or last week, I think they should go all in on Brian Reynolds, and if they could get Mitch Keller, like
Yeah,
just go balls to the wall on that stuff, like
always go to the
and
Pirates. Always trade
yeah,
with the Pirates. It'd be funny if they got Brian Reynolds because they traded him away.
yeah.
That would be kind of funny. Okay,
Who did we
Dodger. What was
who
that?
did we say it was that McCutcheon, that was it.
McCutcheon. Yep. So Padres a half game ahead of the Giants. D-backs 2.5 behind the Giants. Any chance the Giants finish ahead of the Padres or the Diamondbacks finish it? Where do
I think
you see those three teams ending up here?
I think it'll be Giants. Ooh,
You think the Giants get second or the Padres? They have the names on paper.
I think yeah, I just don't know what the I think it would be Giants, Padres, and D-backs. I still think the Giants can win the division, honestly. I think Buster Posey is going to be really into trying to get more guys at the deadline.
I feel like we've hit on most teams here, but there is one team that we have kind of escaped, and they're in first place. It is those Chicago Cubs. They are in
Yeah.
first place. Armstrong has been awesome for them this year. They get Amendola back. He's been there for a couple starts. Like I say, I think the Brewers could steal that division, but the Cubs, if you're a betting man, and you're a Cubs fan, this is a division you should win. Tucker's
Right.
been good. Your team's set up to win it this year. The Brewers, I think, they're pesky enough, like pesky. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Hoskins is a good player. Terang's a good player. Cheerio obviously is good. Their bullpen's been really good as well. The Brewers, so I think they'll stay on their heel. But I mean, if you're a Cubs fan, you should feel like you should win this division.
Right. And I think if they did anything less than win this division, I think even winning a wild card, they would call it a disappointment of a year.
This
I mean,
division's there. It's theirs. It's right there
Yeah.
for them.
They traded for 1 year of Kyle Tucker, where you don't know what he's going to do as a free agent. I think he's a Boris agent, so he was going to test free agency. There was no way of signing him to an extension. And so yeah, they have to go all in at the deadline. I mean, Sandy Alcantara, Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, Zach Eflin. I mean, Eugenio Suarez. I mean, there's a lot of guys that they could go out and get. They should go out and get. And I'm telling you, they need to go all out. They need to go get not just some mediocre pitcher and then some mediocre hitter and say, okay, well that's it. We're gonna win the World Series now. No, they got to really go out. And so man, Eugenio Suarez in Chicago, and I know I've said it with the Yankees, the Giants, the Astros, he's going to every team, but
Yeah,
I
right.
really like him for the Chicago Cubs. Honestly.
So the Cubs for you are the team that, if you look at the standings all around Major League Baseball, they're the team in your eyes that should go in the most.
Yes, just because of that fan base and what they've maybe not verbally said, but what they've said with the trades that they've made at the beginning of in the offseason. That I think that, I mean, it would be so incredibly stupid if they traded top prospects for what's his name, Kyle Tucker,
Yeah.
and the relief pitch, Ryan Presley, just to piss it away at the end of the season. So they really got to go all in.
We'll see how much the Brewers push them by the time they get to the trade deadline. That will say a lot too. So I'm curious to see where they're at the standings wise.
The Brewers, they should be in too. I mean, I would say they really need to be in also. And I kind of poo-poo on them because they're never really active at the deadline. If
what
anything,
a
they
bounce
still,
back season for Yelich.
yeah,
He's been good.
He was good last year, but this is like really his year where he's come full Christian Yelich again.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting back to his. I mean, he's got power the opposite field again. I don't know. It just looks like he's healthy again.
Yeah, he's just been a lot more comfortable, and I think, and it's so weird because like 5 years ago he was like the greatest player ever, and now now it's like, oh wow, we're finally getting Christian Yelich back.
So I mean, we covered a lot there. I mean, I do want to just small little things there. I know the Marlins are playing better. They're only 7 games under 500. We were pretty harsh on them. The Twins continue to be an odd team to me along the way. And then, of course, we've talked about them a lot this year, but the Orioles, that's definitely a surprise. I thought they'd fall off, but it's been a pretty big cliff this year. That they've jumped off as well. The Dodgers are in first place. We have a historic night last night in Major League Baseball. Kershaw gets the 3 strikeouts to get to 3,000. Just a reminder of the longevity on the mound, kind of fading a little bit here. Yeah. Chris Sale's next with 2,528. He's 36 though. Cole's 34. He's got 2,254. Maybe he has a chance, but again, health obviously always a factor here along the way. And then Kershaw, just looking at it, when he turned 30, he had 2,120 strikeouts. So when he turned 30, so the back half here, he's basically kind of struggled his way in a sense. He's had to pitch differently, of course. But that longevity factor in getting 3,000 is such a big deal. And so, maybe I think the guy with the most under 30 right now is Dylan Cease. So I think he's got like 1,300 or something like that.
1,137.
Okay, so there, and then Skeens obviously has the stuff, but again, does like the key sentence there. It's a reminder of longevity on the mound is fading. So, what do you think? Do you think in our lifetime, which hopefully we God's blessings enough, hopefully for 40 more years, let's say it that way, 40 years, like in the next 40 years, do you think there will be another 3,000 strikeouts? I mean, that would be somebody, Scooble maybe. It's a tough thing to get. 3,000 is a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was listening to a couple of not Cardinals baseball podcasts and radio, and they were saying, just the way that the game has changed for pitchers. Looking at Paul Skeens, he hasn't pitched past the 5th inning much in his career. Nope. So I mean, he pitched a complete game like a couple weeks ago, but that was like right at 100 pitches. Teams are not asking starters to go longer into games. And so I think that's going to be detrimental to a 3,000 strikeout career. I also think Tommy John surgery is going to be, it is such a big part of the game now that every pitcher has to get it in their career. And so I think, and you're asking a year and a half of rehab right there. And so, and that's a big chunk of time. And so,
do you think Chris Sale could get it?
It's who?
You think Chris Sale could get it? I mean, he's less than 500 away.
I don't know. He's, 36 now?
Let's say he's made 40, 42.
Yeah. Does he want to, though? I mean, he's made out of peanut brittle. I don't know. I mean, he broke his ribs diving for a ball. So, I mean, I want to say yes.
Sale or Cole? Who would you put your money on?
Oh, Cole. Cole, easy.
Really?
He's
coming off Tommy John, like you said, right?
Yeah, but he's 34. He's got a contract until he's 40, so he's guaranteed at least 6 more years. And he only needs 800 more strikeouts. Right. And so I think So other pitchers I had were Luis Castillo at 32. He's 1,410. Dylan Cease is 29, and he's at 1,100. And then I also said Tarek Skubal, who's been pitching for 6 years, and he's at 786. Keep in mind, 2020 is in there. So, but I think, he averages at about 150. I mean, it's possible.
That longevity, though, is a real deal.
Yeah.
It's a real deal. So, we'll see what happens with that.
And it's just, it's a different game. And even what baseball is 150 years old. There have only been 20 players that hit 3,000 strikeouts. 20 players.
Crazy to think about.
And so
crazy. Think about 20, fourth lefty ever.
Yeah.
To ever do. That's kind of nuts too to think about. Only the fourth lefty to ever get to that mark as well. So pretty crazy last night. I was like, it's a big deal. For me, I love records like that.
And it took him how long? It took him a while to get 3 strikeouts.
I think Dave Roberts definitely would have took him out if it was a different game.
Yeah.
But obviously the crowd's there. He was, I think he left the game losing. But I think the moment there, you have to let him go a little bit. You have to let him try to get to that on that night. You don't want to go on the road with 1 strikeout or something like that. So you want to get it at home, especially. And it's kind of cool that he's been with the Dodgers this whole time. He hasn't. You know what I mean? You don't see that very often either, along baseball anymore. So I don't know.
You know what It was so weird for me because I was doing the research for the 3,000 strikeouts. I didn't realize that Verlander and Scherzer were at 3,500.
Yeah, they're pretty high up there now.
Yeah, and so it's so weird to me. Just imagine.
Who would be the 4 lefties? It's got to be. Is it Sabathia on that list? Right?
He can't be on that list, can he?
Is it Sabathia, Kershaw, and Johnson? I know it for sure. I would think who has the most are on that list for sure.
I'm looking it up right now.
Me too. I'm seeing it right now as I go through it.
Let's see. Nolan Ryan, right-handed. Oh, Randy Johnson.
Steve Carlton.
Carlton.
Yep. And Sabathia, he's got 3,093.
3,093. Clayton Kershaw. Wow. Okay.
Greinke quit 21 before. He could have got to 3,000 along the way as well.
Well, he was kind of pushed out. So.
Yeah, he definitely was pushed out. So, those are the 4 lefties. Obviously, Johnson high on the list, 4,875, but just a measly 9,000 or 900 behind Nolan Ryan. So that's still way
Nolan Ryan's 5,000 strike. Yeah, 5,700 strikeouts.
I like stats like this. I like the records, Logan. I just like them. I like it. It's not gonna happen very often.
It is kind of weird that we talked about this a couple weeks ago, the milestone records are kind of going away. 3,000 hits may not happen again. What is it? 3,000 strikeouts may not happen again. 700
wins.
300 wins. 300 wins. It's weird. And
it'd be interesting, those ones. 500 home runs. You would think that'd be attainable with how many home runs are hit nowadays, but it's still a ton of home runs.
Yeah.
I just quickly before you get to Diamond Notes, I just wanted to hit. I got it at the bottom here because there's a lot of names, but man, you look at these All-Star Game rosters. The National League, it's stacked compared to the American League. We just look at the names alone, who's on the list. So I was very disappointed. The only thing that was, I'm an A's fan, but I'm like, how in the world do Royals fans not vote in Bobby Witt Jr. over Jacob Wilson? I couldn't believe that he made it over Bobby Witt. Stunned. Literally stunned that he was able to make it. The American League obviously doesn't have a bad lineup when you have Vladimir Guerrero and Aaron Judge in it. But, Gleyber Torres at second base. We have Baez in center field. Riley Green's been really good. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything bad about Cal, who's had a great season this year, an all-time first half. It's obviously a good team. But when you look at the names, the National League is just superior. It's superior in every way. So that means the American League will probably crush the National League in the actual game. But
somehow
I'm always a sucker for the All-Star game. I think this year I heard that they're bringing back that they get to wear their actual uniform in the game. I think that was last year we talked about that they are going to do that. So thank God.
I like that. I like that so much. I think that's so cool.
Those cartoon corny
Yeah.
I just hate I hate it. I just do not like it. So I'm glad they're doing that.
Yeah.
Are you an All-Star game guy with this stuff?
Not as much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you hate it, and we argue about this every year, but I still love when the All-Star game meant something, and it got home field advantage in the World Series because Bud Selig is the greatest not manager, GM. Commissioner of all time? Good Lord, I wanted to call him a GM.
He was an owner. He definitely was.
Yeah.
What a haircut! What a haircut! I mean, oh my God. How do you walk out of the house and say I like this? Like I just several times I try to understand some of these people.
He has the same hairdresser as Mark Davis, so
I mean, my God, how do you leave the house and you go, yep, that bowl cut works. I like it. That's what I want right there. Everything gets I don't know. They got the All-Star game in Atlanta this year. After 5 years ago getting stripped away for the voting. So they get that back this year in Atlanta. I'm sure they'll do a good job honoring Hank Aaron. I remember the last time it was Atlanta. I remember, gosh, was it Jeremy Schaap? Or I don't think it was Jeremy Schaap. It was that other guy that a lot of people don't like. He was interviewing Pete Rose at the All-Star game, and Pete Rose just starts ripping on him. He's like, "Why are you asking me these questions?" Like that's the last time I remember the All-Star game in Atlanta. So you'll have that there. Those are the starting lineups, or not starting lineups. Those are your starters.
Do you have any snubs?
I think I just still a little shocked Witt didn't make it. I know Wilson's had a great year along the way as well. So that it did surprise me that he wasn't able to get in.
Yeah,
the other one for me, if I was to really kind of maybe make an argument with it, maybe Corbin Carroll should be in there, but I don't know who in the National League he's getting in over. And the other one that had a good year, he probably should be in over Baez would be my thing, is Buxton.
Buxton.
I thought he's had a really good year for Minnesota.
He was mine. Let's see, who was mine? So I think James Wood should have been in there.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe even over Acuna. And I get Acuna is gangbusters right now, but
it's in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta, but oh man, I mean, James Wood has just been so good. I think Trey Turner should have been over Francisco Lindor. He's leading him in every stat.
Yeah.
Every stat. And I was like, it's so weird to me because I'm going to go on my Trey Turner tangent real quick. But like, I kind of have like lost track of Trey Turner over the last year and a half or so.
Well, he kind of had a couple down years.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a little bit of a down year last year, but and then I look at his stats because someone says, "Man, Trey Turner is just doing really well this year." And I go, "Okay, well, I'll look at it." And he's leading every shortstop in every statistic. I think the only thing that Francisco Lindor had him on was home runs, and I think it was like 15 to 12 or something. And I'm like, man, Trey Turner is just awesome. And now he's gone from being the most underrated shortstop of all time, in MLB to like well respected. Now he's back to being underrated again. So guess what I'm doing? Every seventh inning stretch, I'm talking about my boy again because you people keep forgetting.
Well, you forgot about another shortstop that he doesn't have better stats than. Yeah, he is Ellie De La Cruz. I mean, if you look, he has more runs than Turner. He has more stolen bases. He has more home runs. He's been unreal the last 2 weeks as well. Kind of making an even bigger push for that. I mean, he's third in the whole entire league in runs scored. He's got 92 hits. He's right there at 15 doubles, 18 bombs, 58 RBIs. I mean, he's been really good. 22 stolen bases, and of course, he's going to get the strikeouts along the way. But he would be the guy I thought also got snubbed in the National League.
Yeah. So, I mean,
if I was going to pick, those would be my guys. Buxton, though, is interesting. He's kind of been like it's kind of amazing me Detroit was able to, like, the fans voted Baez, and I'm just stunned that he was able to get in.
Well, they showed up more than Twins fans did, and that's another thing. Like,
And they have the best record, so you get more when you have the best record.
yeah, the whole voting thing is a joke, but I mean, it's so, but it's whatever.
It's weird the way they do it now with, like, the finalists and all that. It's kind of stupid. Like, but I get it. I guess add more drama to whatever you can get with it. All right, I want to get into some Hall of Fame stuff. Diamond notes. Here we go. All right, Dave Parker. He passed away last week. He played for the Pirates, All-Star MVP. He ends up passing away a month before he gets to go into the Hall of Fame. He had Parkinson's. So he ends up passing away this week. Great baseball player. Was on the A's 89 World Series team as well. So sad loss there with it. But, you know, speaking of kind of Hall of Fame stuff as we get into Diamond Notes, I thought you were bringing up some interesting stuff when we were talking. You were talking, like, about guys who have maybe played themselves out of a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know, look like they were projected to be. You threw out some names. You can defend it how you want. You threw out Trout to me. You threw out Altuve to me. There's a couple guys. Andrew Jones is a past guy. Explain the Trout one. I mean, you still, let's say, you think there's really a chance he doesn't get in if he retired today?
So, okay. So the thing is that when he came into the league, he was awesome. Obviously, the greatest player of all time. I mean, people were talking about it. Rookie of the Year, 3-time MVP. And he was just doing so well, and he was on track. I mean, there were people who were saying maybe he could be the guy who comes after Albert to hit 700 home runs. And I was just looking at his stats the other day, and I was just kind of curious and looking at his, counting stats. 391 home runs, 985 RBIs, and then what was the other one? Oh yeah, hits. 1,696 hits. And I'm not a big counting stats guy. But I do think that whenever you look at the voters of the Hall of Fame, they do look at the hits. They, maybe you don't get 3,000 hits, but if you get 2,000 hits, that's going to get you somewhere. He hasn't hit the 400 mark. He may get to it this year. That'll help him. He hasn't gotten to 1,000 RBIs. You could attribute that to just being a part of the Angels, but still. And so I was thinking, with how much he's been injured over the last 5 years, let me look at how many games. He's played 59 games this year, 29 games last year, 82 games the year before that, 119 and 22, 36 and 21, 53 and 20. That was a full season. 134 and 19, 140 in 2018, 114 and 17, 159, a full season in 2016, a full season in 2015, a full season in 14, 13. And so he hasn't played a full season since 2020.
Yeah.
And I think in those years that hurts you in a sense. And so to me, I was thinking because I always I watched a YouTube video. Someone talked about Andrew Jones being one of the players who played himself out of the home run derby, the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Trout is kind of, maybe he is getting to that area. And I think the only thing that goes against it is his Rookie of the Year and 3-time MVP.
But the other thing is this: he finished in the MVP voting from 2012 to 2020. He finished 9 times in the top 5.
Yeah.
And he like you said, he won MVP twice, but he was the runner-up also 3 times. Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to. I mean, but the thing that kind of, let's say he walked away tomorrow. You're right. His stats wouldn't be mind-blowing in the sense of others, like 1,600 RBIs or hits, He's not to 350 home runs. Dave Parker had 385 home runs. And he just barely got in because of, so you're right. There are the stats. There are interesting. The one that I would is also Altuve. I just can't believe you don't think he's going to get in.
Yeah, I really, it's not as big of a, there's not some big conspiracy behind that one. It's just, I think that the baseball writers are going to hate, they're going to hang the 2017 Astros, 2019 Astros over his head. But and kind of going into that, like I use that as an argument against Trout. Like, I don't think Altuve gets in, but he's got 2,600 hits in his career.
Yeah.
2,300. I'm sorry. And so it's kind of weird for me.
I forgot he won an MVP.
Yeah, 2017.
I forgot.
And so his only MVP is in 2017.
Yeah.
When they were cheating. And so it's kind of like, well, can you count his MVP? And does that go for anything? And so I just think there's so much.
Brian Dozier finished 11th from the Twins. Sorry, just a random vote for Brian Dozier, 11th all time at MVP.
I loved him. He was awesome. I wanted him on the Cardinals so bad. And him and Aaron Hill, if you remember him.
Yeah, I remember Aaron Hill, second baseman, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, kind of. Yeah, no, I hear you. I know the cheating thing might stay with him, but I think he kind of, him and Trout still feel like Hall of Famers. The eye test tells me they are. But you're right. At the end of the day, if they washed away, I still think Altuve would get in for sure. And I think Trout would too. They probably wouldn't be first ballot. If they were, Trout, I wouldn't have as big an issue with because of how dominant his 10-year stretch run was. But I'm sure there would be some guys with some problems when you look at the career numbers.
And maybe I wouldn't be like questioning it so much if like the baseball writers were so consistent in their picking. And so it's like, so I have no ideas what's going to be in their mind at this time. And I think, and that's another thing is like Mike Trout is not even close to done. I think he's got a contract until 2031, 32.
Yep. Big contract.
And I mean, there's no way he's going to get better. And so what if his stats keep just going down? I mean, we're going to start looking at his batting average and his on base and being like, my kid, like your kids are probably going to look up Mike Trout one day and be like, why did everyone talk about how he's the greatest player of all time? And you're just going to be like, well, you have to look at this particular.
Look at the first 9 years. Don't look after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He does have an interesting box score when it comes to those things as well. It's fascinating. You brought that up. I was like, that's actually not a bad little argument with it. We didn't mention this yesterday about the Kershaw 3000. I think it was the out before that or the play before that. Muncy gets hurt and he goes on it's just like right before, right? Muncy, one of a swing of emotions. He's out and he's out for 6 weeks. He had been playing better for the Dodgers. So their injury woes continue. So they have that too.
Lucky it was only a bone bruise, honestly. I thought he snapped it.
Yeah, the way he was kind of on the ground there.
Yeah.
The way they had to not cart him off, but carry him off there.
The way he slid into Muncy, I thought was brutal.
James Wood, your guy, he enters the home run derby. So you got him in the home run derby as well. And then you have, like I said, Alvarez setback, not as feared as badly as well. And then we had a guy in the NBA get arrested for gambling, and then we have Ortiz of the Guardians he's on the list. He's on the hit list as well. So those gambling and sports cracking down on a few things along the way here. So they have those kind of things that are happening right now in Diamond Notes with it. Are you a home run derby guy? You probably want to watch Wood in there.
Yeah, I like the home run derby. It's fun. I did a watch along with.
Yes, you did.
So many people a long time ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, you were in that one, weren't you?
I did jump onto that one as well. That was fun. I want to do, like I said, I want to record it. So I watched the game about a week ago, and I want to rewatch it again, take some notes. I just wanted to watch it without taking notes. The first time was that '94 All-Star game. So I'm curious to get your thoughts about that. Hopefully we can make that work. And like I say, just be a recording with it and we can put it out. But it's kind of fascinating looking back at the history of All-Star games, especially then before the strike happened. A lot of different era of baseball, the announcers, just everything about the game is different. And so I'm interested if we can do that at some point next week. And let's see if Tyler would want to jump on with us and maybe Josh too, that kind of seeing how that plays out with the Diamond or with that All-Star game there. So we got that kind of coming along the way as well. Just a quick look. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, back on the Hall of Fame thing, you wanted me to bring this up because I said I had a guy who I didn't think was going to be a Hall of Famer. And then I think over the last couple of years, he's not only a Hall of Famer, but he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I think it's Zach Wheeler. He started off with the Mets and he wasn't really anything great. And then he goes over to the Phillies and he becomes the ace. He's leading. He's just got so much. He's got 136 strikeouts. He's leading the NL right now. He had 224 strikeouts last year, 212 the year before that, 163, 247 strikeouts in 2021 when he won. He didn't even win the Cy Young on that year, but he's got so much. He's got a 3.27 ERA right now, and 1.14 WHIP. You just take into account his Phillies career, and I think you would say he's a Hall of Famer, and he's got 2 more years left apparently. So
my pushback on guys like that would be, why isn't Cole Hamels in that debate? Why isn't Cliff Lee in that debate? Why isn't Dave Stewart in the Hall? Like there'd be I'd have some issues if I do like Wheeler.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that should probably be in too. Then that's kind of where that's the voting. Like we talked about, subjective a little bit, and I'm not denying Wheeler's a great pitcher, but I just there's a lot of other names. Like how is Schilling not in? Like you get my point. It's like how is Wheeler getting in, not Schilling? Like, he might be a jackass, but like at the same time, he's still a great pitcher. So I don't know. There's that part for me that's always weird with that stuff. So
I think Cole Hamels should be in, but yeah.
Yeah,
but of course he officially retired like 2 years ago. So
he did
5 years after not even playing. So
he called it quits after 5 years. I just wanted to give a little update here with the Blue Jays. They end up finishing off the Yankees. They went 8-5. Logan's Nationals went 11-7 over the Tigers. Rockies win 7-6. You had the Angels win 5-1 over the Braves. Mets 3-2 over the Brew Crew. Marlins got the win earlier in the day. Dodgers, they're up 1-0 early as well. Giants 4-0 on the D-backs. And then you got the Guardians and the Cubs knotted at 0 in the bottom of the ninth. So it's kind of your scoreboard for today as we get into July 4th. Nothing like July 4th, a little baseball along the way too with it. So, all right, Logan, I got my trivia for you tonight. Let's see let's see. You got it on the first one. What was it? Tyler got Cabrera last week, right? With the teams that was.
Yeah.
So we'll see how you do with this one as well. All right. I played 19 seasons from 1996 to 2014. I played with the Mariners, Royals, Phillies, Yankees, and Angels, and I was a one-time All-Star. So they want to go. It's a tricky first clue, but you say you like to just know the team. So let's see where we go with that.
I want to say pitcher right now, but 14. Is it not a pitcher?
I don't know. You'll have
to okay. I thought you were shaking your head right there.
No.
No one's coming out right now.
All right. Want me to go hit number 2 here?
Yeah.
All right. I finished my career with 305 home runs, 276 batting average.
Oh, Raul Ibanez.
Boom! He got it. Uncle Raul. Third clue was with the Phillies in 2009. He had his best year with a 272 average, 34 bombs, 93 RBIs. Those were his career highs that year. He was a solid player, though. Raul, solid player. Only a one-time All-Star, though. He had those early Royals years where he kind of struggled a little bit. This is him on the Yankees postseason. A couple little moments here. He ties it up and gets the walk-off a lot of the way. So let's get a little Raul magic here. Here we go.
And here's the 1-0. Swung on and line to right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's done it again. Raul Ibanez. Raul,
hey, Rod.
be seeing you in the right field seats. Raul so cool. He drills a home run over the auxiliary scoreboard into the seats. And the Yankees, 2 outs away from a loss, have tied the game at 2. Lefty to lefty. Mattis steals, swung on, and driven to deep right. It is high, it is far, it is gone. He's done it again. Raul Ibanez has put on one of the great playoff displays of hitting. He drills one in the right field seats to win the game. Raul, so cool.
That's so lame. I'm sorry. Just it was the Albino. That's what I was thinking. Raul Ibanez, though, Logan. Forgotten name. My kids won't remember that guy, but a great player. Like I said, 305 home runs is not nothing to shake at, right?
No, he was a solid player. I remember when the Yankees got him, I was like, wow, that's so cool. Is Raul so cool? But
I just love it. 305 home runs. I mean, a legit stud, right? I mean, he was just it was a legit stud along the way with it. So, yeah, great. It was pretty funny. Go ahead.
Who do you remember him most with?
Probably the Phillies. Yeah, I don't think he wasn't on there very long. I also think Royals. Those are the two teams I think with him, but I don't think of him as a Yankee as much, even despite the home run. He had more postseason success there with them. That's just I think of.
That was during the time. I always remember him with the Yankees because that was the time when they had A-Rod, who was 110 years old, Jeter, who was about 40, Mariano, Pettit, CC, and then they had gotten Ichiro, who was already 38, and it was everyone needed a walker to get to first base, and so, but and then the Mariners, he was on the Mariners for 5 minutes, but he was on the Mariners with Nelson Cruz and Robinson Cano, and that was supposed to be such a big deal.
Yeah, those Yankees teams, it was funny seeing A-Rod in that celebration, right? A-Rod's right there in the celebration. I thought it was fun seeing him along the way with it too. Those teams, that's who I remember him with though. He was always a pain in the butt though when he was up. Yeah. I was always worried about him, and I do remember him on the Mariners there for a little bit.
Yeah,
because as being the A's, I do remember him, and I think that's probably where he made maybe not his first All-Star team, but he might. I know that might have been his first real big breakout season with Seattle. I want to say in 2006. I feel like was when he had a solid year kind of under his belt there with them. I wanted to get this video. This isn't going to be my flashback. I'll get to one in just a second, but people going to ball games, look out. Might have a couple too many beverages or two. You're going to be watch out with this. This is a game from I think it's the 80s, maybe late 70s. A Reds fan going for a foul ball. I mean, this guy looks like he's Hulk or something, and he's so calm. Let's just see what happens along the way here. So foul ball hit. We're in old Riverfront Stadium. The announcer just not a big deal. That's what always cracks me up about this.
People who work in agriculture don't.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
Just about fell out of the upper deck. He was saved by two of his compatriots. He'd be a very dead person, I think.
Yeah.
Been saved.
Maybe a very dead person.
Oh my gosh!
You see, this almost happened from time to time, but I've never seen anybody come this close.
That used to be my biggest nightmare right there. Just falling over as a kid.
I can't believe he held on.
Yeah.
That's talking about hanging on for you. Look at him. He's all calm. All right. Good strikeout, his buddy said. Let's go. Next inning right there. Literally.
He's got such a dumb face too. He's just he doesn't even realize what happened right then. It was just another day.
Just another day in paradise over here.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here at all.
He's wearing pants and boots too to a baseball game. That's so. Oh man, I don't know if I could do that.
Late 70s, baby. Look at those haircuts. And talk about who are we talking about? Might have some issues with his haircut. That guy has it.
Yeah, right.
He might have any more over there with it. So, anyways, I thought July 4th, right? We got a little be careful out there, folks. I think there might be netting in some of these places now, but you got to be aware out there. Be aware with it. So, all right, let's get to my official flashback.
What a ride! The Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
All right, we did talk about Michael Trout a little bit along the way. He's at bat here against, the Oakland Athletics, a name that we might have threw out last week in the pod, I feel like. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was on my other show that I did. We threw the name out. But I always like plays where the arm is shown off a little bit. Throw off the arm. So let's get to it. A's over here versus Mike Trout, the bottom of the 8th inning. Here we
Is this Cespedes?
It is.
He rips that one down the left field line. Cespedes on the move. He's not going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
And it rolls off the side wall, and they're going to wave home Kendrick. The throw to the plate is there, and they got it. Are you kidding me? Wow. Cespedes did not pick it up cleanly, and when he finally did, he threw it all the way in the air.
What a throw.
And Kendrick was out at the plate. And Scioscia's out to argue. Now ball goes off his glove,
if he did pick it cleanly, then he would have been out by a mile. But
Howie Kendrick, obviously they probably wouldn't even sent him, obviously, if he bobbles the ball there, but he's basically halfway down third.
Yeah.
What a throw. You couldn't put it any better than that. That was, what a throw by Cespedes. He crash landed in his career. Mets then just dipped right away.
He tried to make a comeback, it seemed like.
He did for a little bit there, but he wasn't able to get the job done. All right, hot dogs on July 4th. Are you a hot dog guy? What do we do? Are we burgers? What do you got?
I think we are doing hot dogs tomorrow, but yeah, I'm looking for some quiet, and I'm already hearing fireworks outside, so I'm guessing I'm gonna have to turn the fan on and the white noise.
Back in my day, we never had fireworks. We always respected our neighbors. We always
don't turn me into Josh. Back in my day.
that with it.
Oh man.
Funny. Yeah, I'll be doing some swimming tomorrow. We'll do that stuff with it. I'll be watching baseball. That's my thing. July 4th weekend, you gotta watch some baseball. They got the free baseball on the MLB app today or this week as well. So every game's free. So
nice.
Everybody there that wants to check out those, they got the games out there with it. So
what series are you watching?
It's funny that the A's actually play. The Giants play in Sacramento this week, which is kind of funny just because the first one. So a couple series. Cardinals Cubs for me is a big one. That'll give me a little bit of where they're at. Yankees Mets, big series as well. Obviously, I already talked about the A's and the Giants. And then another big one for me that I'm going to keep my eye on is Tigers Guardians. I want to see that one. That's kind of under the radar. And then the most interesting one is Astros Dodgers. Right, both playing well. Kind of curious with those. So I feel like we got some pretty good series this weekend. Anyone for you? I mean, we got Phillies. Who they play? I saw Reds. Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, those are some of the big ones as well for me.
Yeah, Cubs and Cardinals. I think it's going to be a make or break for the Cardinals.
I think so too.
I think we're gonna have a new perspective after this series. Astros and Dodgers. I'd like to see. It's going to be interesting to see how real they are. Dodgers we've talked about aren't necessarily hitting at full speed yet, and the Astros
games over 500 too.
Yeah, and just they're not even real yet. It seems like, or they're not even at full strength. It seems like, and the Astros, I don't know where they're at. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Some of these guys, Yankees and Mets, that may be the worst series actually. And like 3 weeks ago, we were talking about how it would have been one of the best. And so.
Well, it is a big series though for both teams because I mean the Mets have maybe righted the ship a little bit here the last couple of days, but the Yankees are not. They just got lost 2 out of 3, or they get swept by the Blue Jays. They got
swept.
So and they had that big comeback last night to even get to that point. So it's in New York at the Met Stadium. So I'd say a little pressure here with the Yankees. Start to enter July playing bad baseball. You got to turn that around a little bit here. So what better place to do it than against your cross city rivals? So yeah, there's some good series there. Early games tomorrow with the Red Sox, Yankees. My time they're playing at 8:05. So always the Nationals are always famous for that on July 4th. They play 11:05 Eastern, but 8:05 out here Pacific time. So early breakfast and coffee.
Gosh.
They got the new Roku game. I noticed it's like the Cardinals played the Guardians at starting my time 9:00 last week. Do you like the idea of them doing all that stuff?
That was weird for me because it was on Sunday and I woke I was in the middle of whatever, and I just looked at my phone. It was like 10 o'clock and it was on. So yeah, I mean it's cool. I don't know if a lot of teams are going to be watching, or a lot of people are going to be watching at 10 a.m. but on a Sunday after they've been getting drunk on Saturday night. So
yeah, and it's funny. I've never seen West Coast teams on it yet. They're not there. They're not going to put the Giants on.
It's going to be at 5 a.m. or something.
9 a.m. start for the Giants out
Yeah.
here. Not literally donuts and coffee as we're getting ready for a game. Yeah. Usually the earliest games that start out here are 12. At the very rarely, 12:30 sometimes. But I don't think it's not going to be a West Coast thing. Let's put it that way. That's going to be the East Coast thing if they keep that going. So they'll have that. What is it going to be Sunday? Let's see if they have an early game. What is it? Yeah, this week it's 8:35 my time. Orioles Braves will be the morning game. That too. And then we all know. I was thinking like it'll be a Sunday night. I don't think they actually have an official Sunday night game on Sunday. It doesn't look. I can't see where it's at. Oh, it is. Cardinals and Cubs are the ESPN prime time. So not Mets. I thought for sure it'd be Mets Yankees, but it's not. So they go Cardinals Cubs on that one. So yeah, good show tonight. We're kind of moving through the summer now. This is where kind of things start to pick up a little bit. The trade deadline stuff's really going to heat up now.
Yeah.
These next 4 weeks will, especially the next two, right? Like that's going to show us where these teams are. Like we said, Cardinals way out of it. So we'll see what teams are going to be the sellers. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
Who's going to be the biggest idiots who are like, oh, we're actually going to buy at the deadline, and then they actually should have sold, and they're going to have the worst. Hey, maybe there's a certain Padre who needs to get traded.
The Padres need to do something.
Yeah.
I said they were going to be one of the biggest disappointments this year. That hasn't been the case, but they have they got off to a decent start and they've kind of fell back a little bit. So I wouldn't say they've been the biggest disappointment. That's not fair to say, but they are starting to creep into that category if they don't pick it up here a little bit. So
they need to do something.
We'll see what they do. All right, Logan, have a good 4th of July. All right.
Yep. Yeah.
I want to make sure you see nobody this weekend, just a Logan Stone and watching baseball.
I am bolting the doors. I have my Budweiser and everything else.
Everything else stays the same with it. All right, my man. Have a good one. All right.
See ya.